Our next story is Incomplete by Micah, Reid.
Only half of me arrived my first semester at Olin. I was myself, only with half my energy, half my time, and half my concentration. My exhaustion and confusion were all my peers knew, and that made me feel like it was all I knew. So this half Micah became my whole. I was healing from the removal of an invasive illness, along with parts of my functioning organs. I was incomplete in the most literal sense of the word. But healing is slow, and a year can feel like a lifetime. I had no choice but to adapt. I had already doubled my capacity. I was at most a quarter self a month earlier. The rest was consumed by a pain that kept me trapped in my home, turning the stairs out of my basement bedroom into a mountain with the top barely within reach. So I existed at a fractional speed, tethered to my treadmill, pacing endlessly on the slowest setting. I had to keep moving. If I stopped, my muscles would cramp and I would collapse. So I paced on continuous loop, waiting to be reborn. Removing the illness required surgery, and the 6-month waitlist placed me on August 4th. But August 4th left me with 3 weeks before Olin started. August 4th left me with 3 weeks to recover when I was supposed to be bedridden for a month and healing for a year. But I couldn't keep pacing in circles. My first year of Olin, I had a set of rules to keep myself afloat. Only study in silence, sleep a minimum of 11 hours a night, and work every moment I could pull myself out of bed. Success became a binary. Wasting time was never an option. Breaks were frequent, but always out of necessity. My recovery was demanding, and I hated lying in bed all day, when I wanted nothing more than to be able to work normally alongside my peers. This year, I was different. I had turned into a god. Finished healing and newly freed from my bed, I could work twice as many hours in a day. I no longer struggled to do the minimum, but I still worked myself to my limits. I wish my godlike power had come with knowledge or wisdom, because navigating this new life was full of trial and error. Being a new person brings a new set of challenges. I had no model for how to behave with that much freedom, so I'd been alternating between taking on multiple side projects and watching TV in the lounge for hours on end. Like a freshman, I overcommitted, thinking that maybe I really could work more than 24 hours in a day. Like a middle schooler, I tried to push boundaries to find where they lay. Like an infant, I tried to start my life in a new and unfamiliar world. I was a god stuck in a game of catch-up. I couldn't help but mourn the years I lost. I vowed to never miss out on life again, so just as I had rules to keep me afloat when I was sick, I created rules to make me feel like I was not wasting my time. Some were mundane, like getting homework in on time. Some were weird, like never entering my room unless it was to sleep. Some were extreme, like reading a book a day. These rules rarely lasted more than a week, and they really were only good for proving to myself that aimless hyperproductivity doesn't improve my quality of life. But my infant self wanted to explore, and like a baby chewing on toys, this looked weird. I was so used to setting rules out of desperation, and they seemed like the only way I could motivate myself to utilize every hour of the day. So I used my godlike power to try to fit a lifetime into a year, hoping that it would make me feel complete. But today, I am a fallible god. The euphoria of healing was temporary, and I'm starting to come back down to earth. My life overflows, my body gets depleted, and the average is incalculable. All I can do is hope that on some macro scale, it reaches equilibrium.